People in Nepal have revolted against their government, and it's probably one of the most successful revolts that I've seen in my lifetime, maybe in the last 100 years. It's the right way of doing it. Lots of parliament buildings have been set on fire. I'm not saying that what you should do, but that's what the people hold in their power. They have the numbers. You know who doesn't have the numbers? The government. They can't do shit if the people actually properly unite. But the problem is uniting them. That's the real challenge. How are you going to unite all of the United Kingdom? Can you tell me that? No, you can't, because the amount of division, the amount of thought that has been placed to divide people is tremendous. And you just can't do it. I don't think it can be done.
When people say these terminologies like become the change or you need to look inward, that this means it's like a passive state. It's like, no, that's not what I'm saying at all, or not what anybody's saying. It's like when the people come together, when everybody aligns and unites together, and we don't divide ourselves against each other, the power's in the people. That each individual, when we all connect, that's why we have these assassinations, or we have these race wars, or we have these transgender wars, or all these topics that come up which divide us against our fellow brother and sister. That is the reason why in Nepal, whatever's gone on there, full send it. That's how I feel about it. Like, topple, revolt, you know, against the system. That's what we do need to go to the streets. We do need to do these things. We do need to actually put boots on the ground and make an actual impact, but we're not going to do that if we're fighting against our fellow brother and sister over skin colour, over money, over just these petty little squabbles which keep us divided from each other. It's absolutely about to start pissing it down. We probably need to get in.
It's scary to say these things about the government, because the government holds a lot of power, much more powerful than we are, because they command the military, they command the police department, they command the law system, and they can put you away for life. Even if you're living in a so-called civilized democracy like the United States, you're two loopholes away from serving a life sentence for some BS that you probably did 10 years ago or whatever. So, yeah.
You know what's the mad thing? In the UK now, they're arresting people for just making comments or like posting certain statuses on like Facebook or Instagram. It's crazy. There's like 20,000 arrests or something, and don't quote me on that, but like in the UK. So you gotta be careful about what you're putting out online. And if you're saying something negative about the government, you're on their radar.
So I guess be tactful with what you're saying and don't speak badly about the UK government at least. And if you're in the United States of if you're in the United States of Israel, it's important not to talk bad about the Holy Lands, because that also gets you into trouble. But we always want to push the boundaries, as our friend Reese here once said, that you don't want to go too overboard because that leads you into prison. But you want to just push the boundary slightly. And the Nepalese people push the boundary, they pretty much destroyed the boundary, which kudos to them. And that's exactly what's needed. So when I see that happening, you know what I don't think? Oh, poor parliament building or poor little infrastructure. No. I would maybe think that if a mosque or a church or some kind of temple was destroyed, I'd be like, wow, some ignorant fool's doing that. But those systems need to go. It's full of garbage. And I'm so happy watching that place burn down. Hopefully nobody got injured. And, you know, I'm not inciting violence at all. Got to keep yourself safe and be kind and whatever. But yeah, it makes me very happy to see all that to go up in flames.
Nepal is creating a template for what is possibly going to happen all around the world. You know, these like government systems, people are starting to see them for what they really are. But it's quite surprising how little of it has been broadcasted on news. I think all of this is being found out on social media. I mean, look, the media have an agenda, right? They have an agenda that they want to push. And so it's the people that are actually creating this kind of content. It's the people in Discord that are the ones that are revoluting against the Nepalese government. So what's happening now is like people are coming together and fighting back against the systems. In the same way that even social media influencers are the ones that are speaking up against what's going on. It's not the fucking governments or the news or like the corporations. It's literally the people. And that's why we've got to start bringing the power back to the people.
So if you're watching this, we have to unite. The citizens of the world have to unite against one common enemy, which is what? I don't know. There is no enemy outside of us. But there is. Hello. Forgive me.
It's like a paradox because I'm sat here listening to it, and on one hand, I'm like, go to the streets, topple the government, and run the thing. Then on the other side, there's like propaganda, and the people are controlled. But the reason why the governments have power, and the reason why these systems have power, is because it's a perception game. It's like money, for example. You print money, and the reason why it's got value is because it's a value that the people have given it. It is a man-made construct, and the collective have just agreed that this is where the power is. So energy is focused in that direction, and there's power there. So there's like two sides of me where it's like, yes, we do need to take physical action, and we do need to take a side as well. Like we do need to take obviously the highest truth is the fact that, you know, like we're beyond this, and we need to all sort of like know thyself, so on and so forth. So yeah, like because I've had this thought for fucking years from like a young child. There's this like vision that I've had of when I remember I first watched the Zeitgeist when I was a kid, and I first had the realization that everything was corrupt, and, you know, money was a scam in some ways, and, you know, like we're being controlled and divided and conquered against each other. Like there was this like vision that I had as a young boy where it's like I saw the reason why these systems have power is because it's an illusion. It's an illusion of power that the government actually have. They don't actually have any real power on their own. That's the reason why they create propaganda. That's the reason why they divide us against each other. Because it's where focus goes, energy flows, and this feels very like cliche new age, but it's also very true as well. So it's because as a collective, we all give this illusory power to the government or to these systems. If we were able to look, like going out on the streets is one way of doing it, but like I feel like there's another way of doing it, which is sort of like the Gandhi way, I guess, where like if individuals did just really come to a state of like knowing themselves, and then didn't divide themselves against each other, and then just completely tuned out of the system, like non-compliance through like the psyche, just not giving them any energy whatsoever, just like doesn't even exist, then it feels like what would happen is the system would just start to crumble from the inside out, because they don't have the energy of the human beings sort of worshipping or putting energy in their direction. So there's two sides. It's like when I see buildings burning down, there is a part of me when I see, like, I think it was like, I can't remember what building it was, but they burnt down like a specific government. It was like, yeah, they burnt it down, and there was something in me that was just like, my anarchist in me, there's like a little anarchist archetype that was like, finally, you know, like we go into the streets, we're trying to make change, we're doing something, and that is part of the parcel. But I do think there is like another way as well, like I just said, where we can just remove our just non-compliance, psychologically, energetically, like emotionally, just like build our own societies, which is what we're doing right now, and just coming into our own space, and then having our own like micro governments. Because if things start really collapsing the way that it seems like it's going to happen, like we're going to have to make our own laws and our own governments. We're going to have to make our own like small civilizations, I guess, within inside the civilization.
I mean, I was just going to say, I think there's a number of ways that we are pushing back against the governments. Number one is non-compliance. Yes, that's an option. The other is meditation. Like I literally saw a post today, Washington 1993. Apparently, that was like that was the highest crime rate there ever was in Washington, and they said that they got 4,000 meditators to all sit and meditate. I don't know for how long it was, but apparently the crime rate like significantly dropped after that experiment. And so look, yeah, non-compliance, being in a sovereign state where you're not really trying to change the external reality by going out into the world, you're being in a state of peace within, reflects outwards. And I think the final thing is if nothing works and you're just not there spiritually, then go and change it, you know, physically. Go out and, you know, in the same way that if someone comes to break into your house and tries to take your things, you're going to defend yourself. Of course, you're going to defend yourself. In the same way that if the governments are trying to force you to do things that you're not really wanting to do, like keep you in your house or wear masks everywhere you go, or whatever it may be, you got to push back. You know, if they're trying to keep you in 15-minute cities or trying to ban you from flying to different countries, ridiculous. This is the shit that's going on right now. You have to push back or create your own systems, you know? So that to me is like the options, right? Number one, be in a state of non-compliance. Number two, be in a meditative state, you know, allow your inner reality to be reflected outwards. Number three, fight back, push back physically. Number four, create your own systems.
And I think it's important as well that we all have a common goal here. And that common goal is to change the way things are currently in the system. And what I see a lot is like some people's method is becoming the change, you know, by meditating, doing these things. Yeah, I think the thing is what everybody needs to remember is that we all have a common goal and a common aim. And that common goal is to change the way society is and to make a change. Some people's method is to become the change, is to meditate. Some people's method is to go to the streets. Everybody has their own method. Let's not fight amongst each other about our own unique method. Like I posted that, you know, what we all doing, these sorts of things, there's people in the comments being like, this is just what you're doing. Look, no, we all strive for the change, whatever our method, whatever our archetype, whatever it is that we're doing, as long as the goal and the common denominator between us all is to get to that revolution, quote unquote, or to change society, then if all the beings are just aligned in that direction, that's where the change is going to come from. But the first protocol what we have to do is we definitely have to come together as human beings first. And look, if we do need an external enemy to make the change, which is going to be the systems that are controlling us, let's put our energy in that direction, you know, not against each other, okay? And then if we all align, then the power is going to be pushed in that direction. We're going to have the power and we're going to be able to make a change.
Right now, the governments in the majority of places have more control, or at least in the perception of people. Because even though the government controls maybe 20,000 armed police officers or military personnel, there are millions and hundreds of millions of people that can revolt against tyranny. But that's not happening. We're not doing that. So when I saw this Nepal situation happened, I was so touched deep down in my heart. The feeling of, oh my God, this actually can be done and it's possible. And they're doing it. They're showing us the blueprint for what can happen in the future potentially if the government really goes tyrannical. I mean, it's already tyrannical governments virtually everywhere you go. But still, the people are kind of edging along because it's slowly one small change after another, and you're drinking the fluoride water, so you're probably docile and just waiting to sleep.
It's so interesting. As soon as I start speaking into this specific, like into these topics like this, it feels like I'm losing something. It's like I'm losing a level of consciousness. I'm speaking from another place. It's like, because what I just had a thought form that just happened to me then where it was like, okay, look, let's say Nepal overthrow the government, all right? Let's say we all overthrow all our governments. We all become the governments. I feel like it's going to be even worse. I feel like the human beings are corrupted and corruptible. And it just feels like, yeah, I have to keep going back to that path. And thinking, like, we all get our power, we all get the power, we all start, everyone's going to start just hoarding their own shit.
Is that true? I mean, look, I'm just tuning into like right after Nepal overturned their government, people started cleaning the streets, people started fixing things, it's almost like they became empowered to take the reins of their country back.
Yeah, but I feel like this is how it always starts. It always starts like this. If you look back through history, it always starts with good intentions and it always gets really, really bad. It's just a cycle. We're just looping as society. It's like there's like America, when America first got started, it was founded by the forefathers. This was like a freedom experiment. It was like, look at all the fuckeries of all the other countries. And like, this is like, the American dream. Like, look, we're all going to be living in harmony and and that was the intention behind it. Now look at it.
Yeah. So it's, okay, so it is a loop. That is true. It's like the illusion of success. But what is the real success that we're all seeking? To me, it's just like the inner state. Or it's like, to be honest, it's neither option. It's like, I feel like it's creating a brand new system.
Yeah. I think the loops have to keep happening because every time the loops happen, there's like the samsara cycle goes round, and then there's more depth, more lessons, more integrity. Things get learned through the cycles. Like for me, I went through the cycle of like habits, addictions, like being addicted to things, and I had to keep going around the cycle for myself to like every time I would come out of a cycle, I would be a little bit higher, a little bit better, a little bit more wise, you know? So it feels like that's what's going on right now, and it's just like it's as if the drama of the world stage has to get acted out like this. And we're just sort of watching it, and yeah, when we're playing the movie, we take our role, we get our pitchforks, and we go, and we go and we fight against the enemy or whatever.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
I mean, look, even for me, I feel like I'm just playing a character in a movie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm playing the character of the New Earth revolutionary, whatever that means. Oh yeah, fuck the system, da da da. But really, like on the deepest level, I know it's all play. It's all just like a big game in a way, and it's cool. Like I'm in the game, you know. Let me fight for whatever I believe in. You know?
Yeah, it's pretty jarring to me how like because of my experience that I've had, it's like there's something that well my game that I have to play is the game of, I guess, not playing the game, or like telling everybody it's a game all the time. Like, and it's like that's like another part. It's another way of playing the game, you know. But it's also like I guess it doesn't. For me, it feels more entertaining because I do genuinely just want to like. I want to live in harmony, like when I feel that energy. But it's like this unfolding that's happened does have to happen. It does seem it has to happen. The show must go on. The pitchforks must get raised. The fires must get started. The buildings must get burned, and then we'll go around the cycle. And then we'll learn a little bit of a lesson. There'll be an era of peace afterwards. It seems like this era that we're going to go through is going to be the worst one. I think it was like 60 years left of like absolute upheaval. Then there's going to be a number of golden years that are going to follow it. So normally, like if things are going to get really, really bad, which it seems like what's going to happen, then it's going to have to get really bad for, I think, like 3,000 golden years for the Kali Yuga cycle to actually fully end, you know? So it's just like, yeah, it's like this was written in the scriptures a long time ago. It was already foreseen that this was happening. It's an inevitable war. It's an inevitable squabble. We're just sort of here documenting it, and it's like an entertainment in some ways, but it's a real thing as well at the same time. At the end of the day, it is just, it's because it's death. It's because life is, it's exciting because when everything was comfortable and everything's boring or everything's just like going well, like people aren't awakening, you know? Like this is forcing awakening to happen. Like when you've got like a family squabble or whatever, like for me, for example, like, you know, my family is like squabbled against each other, that aren't really getting on with each other. This is probably happening across the board right now, across lots of families, lots of like microcosms of the collective. So it's just like bringing everybody to realization of like, look at us. It's like you're watching a movie of yourself killing everybody, you know? It's like, oh, that's me. Look at us all go. Look at all these human beings that I'm the human being. Look how disgusting we are. Look, oh, like then you check your own life then. You check your own experience. You're like, oh, look at what I'm doing. Look how I'm moving through reality. Otherwise, if you're just getting loads of like chocolate cake, lots of honey, lots of sweet, lots of strawberries, lots of cream, and it's just like, you know, you're just getting through life, it's just like comfortable, just like you get nausea, fatigue, and it's just like, oh. No, it's exciting because everyone's been in a slumber for fucking years, for lifetimes, you know? So it's like, it's finally exciting that it's like, wait, are we actually going to realize this? What we're doing to each other? And like, yeah, it's exciting.
Well, first I want to say that I would definitely like to live in a time of the golden years. I'm very sad that I'm not going to live through that, most likely. That's in 60 years and I'm going to be dead. And then the golden years are going to start. And here I was cleaning up the shit of the previous generations. But hey, I chose this time to incarnate here and destruction is needed. And I think the most sensible thing to do is what Therese touched upon just a few minutes ago. And it is that you just don't pay any attention to that. Like when there's a whole, virus is going around, people are coughing. It's like people were lining up on the streets. Yeah, come on, give me 3, 4, 5, give me in my arm, quick. And I was like, what? You can't pay me to do that. You can't pay me enough to do that. Nah, I don't think so. So that's the most sensible way. And it also breaks my heart and it breaks my illusions of thinking that, oh, the Nepalese people are gonna take up the government and we're gonna take it up and we're gonna be so good. No, the government isn't run by some aliens. maybe they are, it's some conspiracy, but it's just human beings. And we're human beings. We're probably going to get just as corrupt as they are. So we're just going around in circles, and the best thing you could do is to evolve yourself so that if power does come into your hands, you handle it easily.
I was going to say, you know what's wild? It says 72.3% of the world population actually ended up getting.
I think you'd also be surprised as well, though. I think the COVID thing, that was actually a big wake-up call for a lot of people that wouldn't normally get woken up. Like my family members that were normally just like, no, they was walking about on the street with masks on, you know, and I was like, what are you doing? It's like fresh air, bro. Like, what's going on? But now it's different. And even just like that video that was posted recently, these people from back home, like my old mates that wouldn't normally be that way aligned, that are being like, yes, like well said, like yeah, that's it. So I think that these fucking the fuckery of COVID and shit like that has woken up a lot of the common man. That's why now people are going to the streets, because truth be told, we're not the sort of people, when you're like a meditator or whatever, we're not the people that are going to be going to the streets, let's be honest. You know, like I've been to a few protests, but it just doesn't feel true for me to do that. That's not my role to play. But the people who are going to go to the streets are the people that have been like, it's like, wait a second, you've lied to me for this long. And it's like, you're angry. It's like, you've just seen. I remember when I was a kid and I'd watched the Zeitgeist or whatever, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is you lying bastards. Like, how can you do this to me? So I think it's like, yeah, that's why all the fucking builders and the real cats, they're getting to the streets now and they're fucking toppling the buildings. They're the ones that are burning this shit down. They're the ones that are doing that and then cleaning the streets up, you know?
I do think it's great though. I do. I really do. And like, I remember during the COVID times, like I had that energy inside me as well. I was like, I want to do everything in my power to build a revolution in London to just fucking overturn this whole thing. And obviously I didn't do that, but it's like that energy was inside of me, you know? And I think everyone has to play their role based off of what phase of life that they're in.
Yes. And I think the golden year will get welcomed in by everybody will burn everything to the ground. And then they'll be sat there in like a society that's just, you said what's going to happen in the next 20 years. I think everything's going to get destroyed, honestly. I think like most societies are going to get fucked in some ways. There's going to be civil war all over the world. Buildings are going to get burnt down and everyone's going to be sat there looking over the rubble. Just looking at each other just like, so, what now? And then they'll build some buildings, then everyone will get a bit more peaceful and they'll start meditating, and then everyone will start living in harmony a little bit more because they'll start looking inwards. Because once you've created carnage in the external world, you realize that, wait, what am I doing? You know? It's like when you destroy your external, you destroy the things around you, then you wait a second, like, okay. So I think that's what's going to happen. You know, we're going to burn it to the ground, and then we'll all come to a little bit more sense. Realize that when you see enough murder, the same with me, when I saw enough violence in my life when I was a kid, like I realized, oh, I don't want that. I don't want to do that anymore. That's not the way, you know? But I think that's gonna have to unfold.
It's like see for yourself, know for yourself. So you can't just expect people to know that without it happening.
Yes.
It's like we have to break everything and then realize, oh shit. It's like when you're a kid touching fire, you realize, oh, I'm not meant to touch fire. Let the thing unfold. And I think we're actually blessed to have this awareness before the things start crumbling and to actually already be on the side of building new systems, because that is exactly where people are going to start gravitating towards. When these old government systems start crumbling, people are going to start flocking into these communities or these spaces where the values are aligned with integrity and truth and honor and service to the people around them, not where it's taking advantage of each other. That is the system that we're living in right now in the fucking Western world.
Yeah, we're going to try our best to make the thing that everyone's going to come to not corrupt. But that's why we have to fucking meditate. That's why we have to keep renunciating, keep surrendering, so that we can actually hold that, you know?
Yes. I wrote about this today as well. It's like, what does it take? What kind of leaders are we looking for in the world? You know, it's like the leaders at the top right now are ones that are literally, traumatized children, you know, that haven't come to terms with their wounds and their shadows. And so they're literally just projecting that out to the collective. And like the new leaders to me are the ones that have done the work. They have inquired, they have watched the aspects of themselves. And so that when they are in that leadership position, they're not putting the people down. They're not taking from others. They're not, taking advantage of humanity. And and I think that's what we're building now. You know, we're building our own version of that.
But it's very important as well with all this stuff that's going on. Alan Watts talks about this. It's like, yes, like when you're part of society, you need to take a side. Like, you know, if another Stalin comes or another Hitler comes, you fight against them, you know, because that's what you have to do. And you get real rage, real anger in the direction of them. But on the deepest level, it's definitely important to know that you're just playing a role. And it's just part of the unfolding drama, you know? So it's like you're able to, I guess sort of, it sounds brutal, but like laugh in the face of death. Just laugh at it sometimes, you know? Like that's what humor really is. Like comedy is just like in some ways laughing at the traumatic experience of being a human being. That's the funniest shit. When you just laugh at the pain. That's it. That's like you laugh through pain, you know, and just see it for what it is, you know. Everyone's so wrapped up in it though, you know, and that's why you get people in the comments that just like that will fight you. But it's like it's very important. Let's fight against each other if you want. We'll battle, but like let's understand also at the same time that it's not a fucking. We're all just playing a role. We're all one at the end of the day.
A few minutes ago, we were talking about this, and Reese said that he feels like he's losing something when we're talking about the government and revolution and all these things. And I felt something similar. I feel something similar. I think that, again, it's the fluoride, you know, fluoride has an impact on you and you kind of want to go to sleep. And when you're trying to push against the system, you just met with drowsiness because you've been drinking fluoride for too long. But also the government is your friend. The government is your father, so to speak. They're taking care of you. Hey, come on, relax. And you overthrowing your government is like you overthrowing your mother and father, the people that are feeding you. That's literally how it is also. And there's also fear associated with that. Because again, if you overthrow the government, what's left is just you and a bunch of noobs or novices that also overthrew the system. Do they know how to run anything? No. And they for sure are as much corrupt as everybody else. So the real trick of the trade here is, again, to meditate like Reese said and Leo mentioned or assumed, and work on yourself, master yourself, because real leadership doesn't come from you persuading people to follow you with a rifle. It comes from you having some sort of internal mastery and you being able to show people the fruits of the good life. Hey, you can sit here and be peaceful and not have to suffer misery and anxiety. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
If we rebuild a society with a group of people that would rather get electrocuted than sit silent for 10 minutes, we're definitely fucked.
So people in Nepal are